for a long time, and Aditya Adhi. Sorry, dude, I can't pronounce your name, but we're going to get there. But today we're going over something super fun, super exciting, which is mostly the prospecting engine. And specifically, I'll be showing you the numbers, dollars, and the who, what's, and how's of how I set up my prospecting engine. So I get yeses every single day. I'm just going to say almost automatically. And like I mentioned before, I need you to lower your expectations. I can't show you everything. It's part of my next tier mentorship program, and I can't break that level of trust. And so I'll be showing you what I can, and we'll be talking about numbers, and you can ask questions and stuff like that. I'll be honest in the way I can and cannot answer them. And more importantly, we'll also be fixing this thing right here, the show up rate, which definitely sucks. We're going over my plan to increase my show up rate from blank to blank and increasing the chances of those turning into sales. So if everybody's cool with that, if everybody's kosher with that, we're gonna have a good time. We got more people joining the live. We got Jim Buggs. Jim is based out of, Jim, did I meet you on the cruise? Nope, different Jim, sorry, maybe Jim Blake. Jim Bug, how you doing, sir? Jordan Key, him and his fiance? I don't know, maybe 100K a month soon, yeah. And AJ and Blake Hester and all that fun stuff. So what's going on, ladies and gents? But yeah, let's get this party up and running. Like I mentioned before, I genuinely believe that the reason why agencies are not successful is whether or not they get their prospecting engine up and running. And the prospecting engine has like certain parts, and these are just me making up on the fly. And we'll just, we'll draw out those trusty charts and graphs. Ultimately, you want to build a prospecting engine that gets you 5 to 10 yeses automatically every single day. From people that want to buy what you have to sell. So this is ultimately one you want to build out. If you have this, it's only a matter of time before you build your agency, make an F ton of money. Like Elon Musk is so out in front and so obvious and explicit. Like this guy tweets once and like 1 million people listen to him. Most of the time he has nothing of value to say, but he's prospecting 24/7, 365. The guy was on stage for 2 hours, made like what, $12 billion in pre-orders. And people are saying, hey, I know that's not what I'm going to get. I'm going to put my money down knowing that it's probably going to be broke or busted and there's delays and I know I can't pay anything for 2 years. And I'm super happy about it. Like what? But that's because of the prospecting engine. Like he builds that stuff out. And specifically for Facebook ad agencies, there's paid Facebook ads. There is LinkedIn. There's cold emailing. There's form fills. There's even appointment setters. And it doesn't really matter what goes in these boxes on the left. What matters is that you have boxes and you have stuff in them. And I don't know if one works better than the other. Everybody has their preference, but there are literally $1 million agencies that have been built entirely on one of these things. You just find something that works and then do more of it until it doesn't work anymore, and then you do something else. And so for me, I really moved from in-person events into doing two things. So away from in-person events into paid ads and cold emailing. And I'll be trying to figure out LinkedIn soon. That'll probably be a masterclass that we're dealing with later on. But ideally, what you want is to have 1, 2, or 3 of these things up and running. When these are up and running, you'll get 5 to 10 yeses every single day. And specifically for me, I was focusing on these two things because I knew I could do in-person events. Like that's fine for me. But I really wanted to focus on these two right here. So I paid a mentor a lot of money to help me unlock paid ads. And I'm paying somebody every single month to do cold emailing. So these are the results of, let's do this, results of prospecting engine. And by the way, part of me thinks like if some person manages to get all 5 or 6 of these, or maybe even 7 up and running, they could probably make $1 million. And when you hear of like agencies that like go from 0 to $1 million in like 3 months, they probably just do all of these all at once, flood their calendar, and it's only a matter of time before they make $1 million. So here's the result of the prospecting engine. So this is since November 1st. So let me bring up the sheet. So since November 1st, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 31. So since November 1st, we got 31 yeses. And a yes is somebody saying, hey, I'm interested. Let's talk. Here's my name, number, and email. So your yes can come from cold emailing, or yes from Facebook ads, or yes from LinkedIn, or whatever it is. So we got 31 yeses. And as a screenshot, I'm just going to show you what that looks like. And this is a paid service run by somebody who teaches in my elite program. His name is Jose Soto. Let me block out some personal identifiable information, but you'll see. One moment, guys. Remove that. Remove that. Okay, and remove this right here. Oh, hold on. I have to get rid of all the phone numbers. I feel weird when people show me that. Show me other people's phone numbers. Like email is less bad, but I mean, address is fine, or website is fine. So this is the export of my cold emailing part of my prospecting engine. Again, I'm paying somebody to do this. If you have the money, I highly recommend that you do it. If you don't have the money, you can do cold emailing yourself. It's really frustrating and really challenging, and then like I'm emotionally drained by it. Some people aren't, some people love it, and you can make an F ton of money or get a VA to do it or pay somebody to do it, whatever process. But this is literally the result of somebody cold emailing for me, and every single person replied saying, yes, I'm interested. I want to buy what you have to sell, or on a spectrum of like, who are you with? Or yes, I'm interested, or what company are you with? Yes, I'm interested, all that stuff. And then from here, it's up to me to do the following, which is 31 yeses, move into a qualifying call. Well, let me draw this out. So prospecting, sales, fulfillment. So far, and there's a little engine up here. Let's talk about this. So far, we have tallied 31 yeses. People saying, hey, I'm interested in buying what you have to sell. And these are specifically carpet cleaners. I think they're carpet cleaners. Yeah, they're all carpet cleaners. And the email that we're sending, I was like, could you get 5 to 10 more carpet cleaning clients? Something like that. Or could you use them? Can I send them your way? Let's talk, something like that. And for context as well, the prospecting engine breaks down into smaller parts. So you have your intro call. And then you have your demo call. Schedule demo. Yeah, something like that. Let's make this smaller and harder to read, right? So schedule demo. All right, whatever. So schedule demo. So we got 31 yeses for this prospecting process. And somebody's asking a question now of how much did I spend to get 31 yeses? I think we're up to like $500 for 31 yeses. So 500 divided by 31. So I'm paying about $16 per yes for this. And there's more down here. It ends up being about 32 or something like that. But yeah, so it's about $16 per yes. If we do real math, I could spend $100, and 16 times 100 is $1,600. If I get at least 1 out of the 100 yeses to pay for my service, I have then paid for all of the yeses, and I can get 100 more. And that moves it forward again and again and again and again. So we got 31 yeses just from one of these processes right here. But then there's a question about like, what about the other things like LinkedIn and in-person events and stuff like that? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my ads manager, and I'm not going to show this to you. Again, that would be like a big breach of trust. So I'm going to open up my ads manager, and we're going to get from Facebook the amount of people that have raised their hand and saying, yes, I'm interested in buying what you have to sell. Yes, let's talk. Yes, I filled out the form. Yes, here's my name, number, and email. Effectively a yes. Instead of like cold emailing, this is just paid Facebook ads. And so I'm going to go here, and we are up to, oh, hold on, carpet. These are big numbers, right? Plus 232. So 31 plus 232 is 263 yeses. 263 yeses since November 1st, which is pretty darn cool. Isn't that awesome, right? 262 people. That's about 10 per day. So 262 divided by 17. So we're at 15 yeses every single day so far for the month of November. 15 yeses every single day since November. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, you just kind of let me know. But the whole idea is like, hey, let's get 10 to 15 yeses every single day. Well, we did that in November, which is awesome. It's a combination paid Facebook ads and cold emailing. So we got 261 people that have said, yes, I want to, are part of the prospecting engine, right? So let's do this. Let's rename these suckers. So this is the yes, and then it's the intro. If anybody has a big background in big companies, this is the difference between a sales qualified prospect or a marketing qualified prospect, SQL, MQL, stuff like that. But we've got 262 yeses since November 1st, which is pretty darn cool. I know I could have figured this out for myself, but it would have taken me way too long, and I'm just going to pay for a shortcut. I don't know why it keeps doing the arrow. I'm looking for a line. There we go. So this is 262 yeses. There you go. That is different than introduction calls. That's not qualified calls. That's a marketing qualified lead, not a sales qualified lead, all that stuff, right? But we've got 262 yeses since November 1st. It's 15 yeses every single day. So hell fucking yeah, that feels good. And yes, I paid money for this. Like I paid people money to do it as a service. You should be doing the same. It will accelerate your results and get you faster than you ever expect. So I got 262 yeses since November 1st. But the question really is not the yeses, but the intro. Like, so what if somebody filled out the form? I filled out a form and ignored the phone call, right? So what type of intros are we talking here? Well, here's what's interesting. I got so many yeses. Every single day, I got completely overwhelmed. That's how I learn. That's how I change. If I did not get an overwhelming experience, if I did not have too many, then I probably would have tried to make sure they're taken care of. That's just how my brain works. When it's 1 or 2 or 3 people, I can take a look. But if there's 1,000, I just kind of give up. So I had to do my 1,000. In this case, it's 262 yeses. That's just yeses, not introductory calls. So what happened, right? In the first half of November, we got 2 to 3 yeses per day. Here we go. And then it jumped to 15 yeses per day. Originally, I was taking the introduction calls. I called qualifying calls. Again, me knowing my brain and how this whole thing works, like I just got to overwhelm myself and get sick of it. Like I could take care of things, but I shouldn't be. So I'm going to show you what happened when we did the qualifying call. And again, this is all credit to my current mentor. One moment. Let me block out some stuffings. Move that and move that and click save. So now that I've got that, I can set you up for success. So in the first half of November, we got 2, 3 yeses, jumped to 10 to 15. Originally, when it was just 2, 3 yeses, I was taking the introduction calls. I would say, great, schedule here, all that stuff. And then one day, we got 15, and then we got 15 again, and 15 again, and 15 again. And my calendar was literally triple booked. Like I could not deal with the number of qualifying calls or the people calling me or scheduling time. I was overwhelmed and I didn't know what to do. So this is what I ended up doing. And this is like a good problem to have, knowing like how your brain works. My goal is to make this nearly automatic, and I'm willing to pay for it. So ladies and gents, this is like a public call out. If you see me doing this and you know of a better way, feel free to PM me and say, Jeff, you should be doing this instead, and I'm going to charge you X number of dollars to do it. I'm going to say, yes, great, here's money. So my goal is to make this nearly automatic, and I'm willing to pay for it. In terms of prospecting, originally what I was doing, I was taking the qualification calls. That meant I was more prospecting. That meant I wasn't doing the work. That meant I was too busy dealing with the 15-minute phone calls. And then very quickly I said, I can't do this anymore. I said, hey, Brett, can you take the qualification calls, aka the intro calls? He was like, sure, man, it just costs you money. I said, awesome. So now that I was no longer the bottleneck, now that it was nearly automatic and I'm willing to pay somebody to do it, this is what my calendar, or Brett's calendar, ended up looking like for, what day is this? This is Tuesday, which is pretty darn cool. I'm going to show you. This is Friday. I'm going to go ahead and edit this real fast. Just trying to save people's names. Again, this is Brett Calendar's, not mine. So he did that. So that was his Friday. And overall, we had, oh wait, date range. Here's another one coming up. We ended up having 3 sheets of this right here. And the first time I ever saw something like this was with Bald Deep. That's his real name. And he did something for tax offices, Facebook ads. And you can see like down here, we had 3 sheets of qualifying calls. Every time I opened the calendar, it was filled within a half day. I was like, hot damn, that's cool. Because it's nearly automatic and I'm willing to pay for it. That's the cool part. Not this. If I was doing the work, I would see dread. I would be uncomfortable doing that. Oh, everything is horrible, blah, blah, blah. But instead, because it's nearly automatic, I'm willing to pay for it. Great. Thumbs up, right? But now we got a new problem, which is the introduction has to lead into the sales conversation. The sales conversation is the onboard, or there's more Q&A. I'm just put Q&A. And then there's the demo. And then there's the close. And I really want to put onboarding on here, but whatever. So let's move that around. So now we have to move into the next step, which is like scheduling demos, Q&A calls, the sales, the pitch, all that stuff. And you'll notice here we got 262 yeses. We did intros, and then we had to take that next step. So how many intros did we do, right? 262 yeses turned into how many intros? Let's move this around over. Let me go to Calendly. Upcoming, I'll just make some assumptions real fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 45. So 45 qualification calls since November 1st. That's not true. It's closer to 50 because like some people called back or whatever. But it's, let's just say 45 qualification calls. So 262 people got yeses. And then 45 people qualification call. Cool. The qualification call is really a crazy check. Are you a real person? Is it worth talking to you and having you pay me money? And the having you pay me money part is, it's really unfair. I shouldn't be saying that. I said, can I solve your problem in exchange for money? But I'm just shortcutting it, right? So the qualification calls really like, hey, let's get on the phone. Let's have a conversation. I have a script that I follow. Great. So how are you currently getting jobs? How many jobs are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish? How much revenue do you have? Great. Would you like to see how it works? How I can guarantee you results, right? And so 262 people turned into 45 qualification calls. This number will go up because we're still in process of dealing with these 262 yeses. I estimate it'll probably be closer to 70 once we've gotten through everybody, because we still have 45 more calls, or we still have we still have a lot more to go through. Normal stuff, right? Yeah, it's just a crazy check, see if you're all that fun stuff. And then only after Brett has said it's okay do they get to schedule on the demo calendar. It's an entirely different calendar. It's my calendar. They can find a time. And I was like, Brett, here's the SOP, here's the process. I did the first 4 or 5, and I recorded them all, gave it to him, said, go for it, hooked up his calendar, and he just takes these calls all day long. He gets paid for it, which is pretty darn cool, I'm happy to say. And only after this person has passed muster do then they have access to the calendar demo link. And he usually just types it in just for them. That's it. So cool, great, fine, perfect. So we got 45 qualification calls since November 1st. Now, the mistake that I made in the beginning was saying, oh my God, somebody wants to pay me money. I'm so excited about them paying me money. Let's have them pay me money right now. If they don't pay me money, I'm a failure. That's just, it's stupid brains of thinking. Like, there's no reason to think that. Like, you can't go to gym once to get a 6-pack and be sad about it. That doesn't make any sense, right? And so I want to say, before I talk about the sales process, my goal with the sales process was not to say I landed a sale or I didn't land a sale. My goal with the sales process was to do 5 to 10 sales calls and then look back and say what I did right, what I did wrong. So we did 45 qualification calls, which is cool. And now we're going to talk about sales calls. There we go. So now we're over here, which is the sales calls and Q&A. I'm going to look up the number of people that actually scheduled to call. And that's a number of people that they said yes, they went through here, then they went through the intro, and then they scheduled a conversation to go over this stuff. So we're talking about this process right here. Let's look at this. Oh, hold on. And again, I can't show you my Calendly right now, but I think you'll understand. My Calendly, scheduled events, filter, events, demo. Cool. So date range. All right, cool. So now I've got this right here. I was using the wrong slide. Oops. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. So out of the 45 qualification calls, we scheduled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 scheduled demos since November 1st. Let me check my calendar real fast. Yeah, we're good. So 16 scheduled demos since November 1st, which is cool. And then the demo is literally an onboarding doc. So I'm asking them a little bit more in-depth questions, making sure that they know I understand their problem. Then I show them how the darn thing works, tell them how much it costs, when they can get started, all that jazz, right? And I'm learning a phrasing called problem, process, promise. Effectively, that's how most of pitches go, right? Your 6 steps, all success and all that fun stuff. Very Donald Miller brand story process. But we'll just kind of set that aside for now. I know it's going to come up. But we got 16 scheduled demos. How many people showed up, right? Well, we have 16 scheduled demos, and it's really only the 1, 2, wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 16 scheduled demos since November 1st, but only 8 demos so far. And by that, I mean, like, some of these demos are scheduled for like Friday or Monday. We've only done 8 demos so far. Out of the 8 demos, you ready to be sad, everybody? You ready to be bummed out? out of 8 demos, 5 no-showed, including 2 no-shows today, 2 rescheduled, 1 demo. Now, like I mentioned before, my goal in a sales call isn't to like, oh my God, I made money or didn't, and have those emotional ups and downs. My goal is to go through the process and enjoy the learning curve and then go back after 10 or so. So we've only really had 1 demo since the start of this prospecting engine really kicking in 2 weeks ago. And I'm 100% okay with that. But here's what's even more interesting. The 1 demo I got was with the lady named Pam. And let me go ahead and show you the screenshot. I got to blur out what she said earlier. One moment. So here's the screenshot of the text message she sent me last night. This was the 1 demo. The 1 demo that I've done so far. Again, 5 no-showed, 2 rescheduled. They were like apologizing about it. One guy not in here actually called me who no-showed, but now he wants to redo it. Whatever, I'm not going to worry about the details. Pam called me or sent me a text message saying, I think your plan is genius. I've never heard anything like this before. I just can't go in the hole again. We're still paying off the last agency. It has to go on a card. I said, great, that's doable. What card did you want to put it under? That was last night at 8. So this could be a first sale, which is cool. And what's even more interesting, by the way, if this is $1,500 sale, that pays for everything. That pays for everything. 262, 45, 16, 8, all the no-shows. The one $1,500 sale pays for everything. And that doesn't include upcoming demos. So the prospecting engine, so let's say 16 schedules and 8 demos since November 1st. So here's what's interesting. The prospecting engine works. And ultimately, my goal isn't to get something that works perfectly. My goal is to get something that just works. Really, really cool. So I'm super psyched about this. I hope this keeps me accountable and helps get things moving. But we're going to see what happens pretty darn quickly. If there's any questions about this process, you let me know. And then we're going to take it from there. Ultimately, my goal is to build a carpet cleaning agency that blows all other Facebook ad agencies out of the water. And we're going to take it from there, which is really darn